Hello, good morning. Happy Monday. Brand new beginning to a new week. And Setsu, hello. How's your projects going? How are you doing? You have made exactly 0 commits in the past week. Hopefully that's just because you've been taking a break from it, not because you've just been coding without committing. Strange that I now feel that the coding without committing is that's the worst case scenario, because that means that it's super dangerous. So we have, we're at the last little bits for this assessment. I need to add in the comments, and then I think that's the last of the assessments to write. It's going to be article writing time and video creating time. Yet some work in progress, things stashed, but mostly just taking a break. Well, taking a break is important too. I always advocate for taking breaks. All right, so this is the first of the comments for this web assessment. So this return the rendered index to HTML for to the calling app. I guess should rendered HTML. Okay, so if a name is passed in through query params, then pass that into the template. What do I need with this? Oh, yeah. Okay, so for Terra. So, I'm thinking right now is, okay, I can remove the state. I think I want to just remove everything here. Have this be a to-do. Cody, why did you have to move? Now you're not in Vision. And then knowing to do the string, okay, so that's good there. So I'll delete you. And we'll delete you. We've already created a branch for this, right? Did I? I did. Okay. Okay, so that's home. So this should return the rendered XML. Okay, then we have mod. Oh yeah, definitely we need to throw something in here. So okay, so update the router so that it serves all files in the public directory to the route public. Example. I need to remember what it was. Okay, so in public we have sample.json. Okay. Okay, and I think that's the only thing we're gonna do here, right? Is update that. So we have the home handler. Oh, I want everything. Okay, so also. Okay, so that's this fallback. We nest the service, but then the trace later, and then I'm not going to do state. So I could do state. No, I want to make that a decision that the user can take, because they can use extensions too, and I don't know if it really I care that much about extensions versus state. State gives you that compile time protection rather than extensions, but I don't necessarily think there's like one way that's better than the other. Okay, so that's this. Right, we're gonna remove AppState. And the other thing here is that I don't want to necessarily say you have to use Terra. It could be anything, right? Anything that supports handlebars, which I think is almost all of the templates. Like handlebars itself would work too. Now, do I want to put a comment in here for something for maybe that better go into the router? Oh, maybe I don't put it here because it doesn't actually matter where it goes. This could probably go into the README then. So instructions, rubric, suggestions, hints, notes. Okay, so notes. So I guess there's a couple things. So first of all, we could do something like this. Go find Terra. The solution branch uses Terra, and the HTML file is takes in a variable. Syntax. Which is compatible with multiple templating engines. Feel free to use any templating engine you want. Oh, so this is maybe as part of the rubric would be templating engine is not initialized in the route handler, but passed in, passed in via an extension or a state. Okay, so that could be an actual rubric there. Okay. All right, so I don't need to change any of those. Source. Okay, so where we did this, oh no, we did this one. Okay, so then in lib, we updated you, but we don't have any. We don't have any comments for this one, but I don't know if it matters. I think we're okay here. And then in main, I don't think there's anything to sort of go over. Okay, so we have a target, we have our templates. doesn't really have anything special. We have assessments. That's fine. Okay. So I think that's everything. All right, so that assessment is done. So we can mark you completed. Okay, so that's all of these purple assessments now. They're all done. They're all happy, which means that the next phase is the writing of articles and the creating of videos. So each lesson, as it were, will be an article and a video. Now, the article might be as simple as watch the video, but the article could also be go like read something over here. Here's some interesting information for you to read over there, or it could just be here's like how to do everything yourself if I haven't found any good resources elsewhere. Yesterday I went out to a cafe and sat down and tried this out just to sort of see how it felt. So this is a, well, first of all, I heard about AnyType, so I'm experimenting with that, sort of seeing how I feel about it. I wish I could make this go away, or that it maybe didn't scale up with everything else. Sort of is annoying, but not really that big of a problem. So this is AnyType. AnyType is a free open source sort of like kind of sort of Notion, but there is a server controlled by them, which is only doing basically they claim it's peer-to-peer, but it's clearly not. It's theoretically it encrypts your stuff. I haven't like looked into the source code to make sure that it actually does. So their README says they encrypt the stuff, they send it to their servers. You log into the server, and then that will then sync your stuff. So that's really how this all works. And then the data unencrypted is only stored on your system, so like whoever logs in. And a login, you don't have to give it a username or email. That's also nice too. You just when you log in, you don't even give it a name. You give it a they give you a, is it 9? How many is it? They give you a 12 words. 12 words in that you can use that you use for login. And so it encrypts using that. I would imagine that they're completely random words and they're not like sort of restricted to something nice, which would be less awesome. But hopefully it does seem to be all English words, so it's not just like using across multiple dictionaries. And that is, I guess that's how I could like keep this secret, keep this safe across multiple devices. And I did check, there is an iOS app, so I was able to log in on that. And besides that, it looks pretty similar to Notion. Terminology changes. It's a little bit more unintuitive to use. than Notion is, but that kind of makes sense. Notion is a multi-billion-dollar funded company, so they had they have a lot of they have hired a lot of people to do user design research. Plus, also, I would imagine that this would not last very long if they just copied Notion one-to-one. So this is what I've experimented with for lessons. So we have login AxumX with tracing. So I'll have my title for that one. I'm gonna begin every article with an objectives. And that's going to help me sort of determine what actually gets taught in there. The assessment obviously is a huge determinator of the objectives, but that's only if the article has objectives. No, what am I saying? That's only if the article is associated with an assessment. That's what I meant. Then it's easier to create the objectives here. Apparently speaking is hard today. All right, I might be able to get Zilby. Sort of there. He's in the corner. He's under the chair. And then the rest of it is sort of like a blog post. It's just focused on these objectives. So I also put links in for what you do, and then it's here's like all the code and everything else that we need to run to get there. There's no code repo associated with this, so you have to actually just read this to get through it. And I'm never sure how to properly end the articles. I don't really necessarily think a summary is helpful here. So it just ends. But I think it's fine. So what I want to do is for each one of these, including these purple ones, we're going to have an article and a video. So that is the next thing on our list. Zilby's very interested in what's behind that. And usually it's a place that we've set it up as a tunnel for him to go into. But I'm wondering if a spider is set up in there. Because he's super interested in that. Hold on, I'm going to go take a look and make sure. Well, if there's a spider, I might be able to rescue it from Zilby. So I'll be right back. There was a spider. It was really tiny, but he was definitely interested in it. Hadn't figured out a way, I guess, to start attacking it. Hi. Want to come here? So I captured it and put it outside, where Zilby will not be able to get to it. And I'm not completely sure that he understands that the spider's gone, so he might go hunting now. All right, so anyways, this is this sort of what I'm playing around with. This would be logging with tracing setup with, I guess, one check mark. It's a color that will work with everything here. We have purple. We can do red. Okay, so this is going to be article written. And video created. Don't remind you about spiders. He had a shock the other day with an unexpectedly large one. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, my wife came down and she had a large one that she had to deal with. I wasn't available, so she had to capture it and do the entire thing herself. But it was low enough to the ground that it was easy to do, because the ones that are on the ceilings suck, because, or like that you don't feel that you want to keep on. There's far too many that like are way too confident about their ability to stay stuck to a ceiling, and I just watch them fall every once in a while. And falling here means, well, cat. And last thing I want to do is find a spider with no legs. The shock being it under your clothes. I have not had that yet. That's not great. Okay, so we can do red for article written and maybe black for video created. That should work. How would that work against the purple? Yeah, it's visible against purple. It's fine. Yeah, that's not good. I would not be happy about spiders underneath the pile of clothes in my closet. That would probably not be, that would probably turn into a not capture anymore. Okay, so if I wanted to create a video for this, how do I want to do this? Let's set up I guess first of all, do I want to use VS Code for all the videos? I might want to, because I might want to, because that's what I'm expecting most people to use. Oh, these were closed. You'd already started. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, that's not good. I used to live in the mountains, um, in California, and there's like I'm guessing it just doesn't matter where you live. If it's in the mountains, if it's like, in a forest, in the mountains, you're gonna get spiders and other things coming in all the time. I learned fairly early on to just start shaking my towels, shaking everything, um, to dislodge all the things that were hanging out there. Luckily, most of the spiders that sort of got on me were the daddy longlegs spiders, which are harmless and pretty much the only ones I'm willing to like grab with my bare hands. But it's not cool to just suddenly realize that there's a spider crawling on me. Especially if it's underneath clothes or beneath a towel or something like that. Oh, you know what? Okay, so we probably want one more thing here. I want video created. We want assessment created. Did I not spell this correct? No, I did. Okay. And then you will be that light blue color. Okay. So I could do something like article video assessment. So the bottom right is fine for all of these. Okay, makes sense. It's not lined up, but it doesn't matter. It'll be fine. Okay, so do I want to try a video for logging in with tracing? And that would be a full one. Which means, or perhaps I want to do a video for setting up VS Code. I hadn't created an assessment for this, or I hadn't created an article yet for it. Yesterday I was really mostly practicing with the layout of this, and I think really just like treating it like the blog post style, I think is the way to go. Of just like, okay, we're just doing blog post. It's a tight topic already, so I think it'll be fine. So if I want to do another one, now how do I go back? So I don't really have much in here besides course article things. So, oh, interesting. Okay, so go to course articles. Interesting. So they have. There's no way that you can have a target audience of everybody if you use like computer science as a reference in the documentation, like in the actual tutorial. Okay, so I want a page. Okay. So I think it's a page. And this is going to be setting up. Okay. Oh yeah, so this isn't actually text there. This is just sort of here, so I can start typing over it. That confuses me every time. Okay, so setting up VS Code. This is going to be... Oh, I probably should be more specific, right? Set VS Code for Rust development. Come on. I can't add a description? Okay, now I can. I don't really know if I need a description with a title like that. All right, then we have the actual page itself. I can make this full screen too. So there is dark mode. That was one of the first things I switched over. So this normally would be white and black text instead of black with white text. So a heads up if you get that, it is a thing. Also, I'm not convinced that there's a web view of this. Okay, so I'm not going to put the title in here because I already have that one. So I'm just going to start with this. So we're going to have objectives. Our objectives for setting up VS Code for Rust development. So this would be, I guess, I don't know, like why VS Code. No, that may be part of the article itself, but the objectives would be by the end. Okay, so you will be able to, I guess, I don't want it to be like set up VS Code for development because it already is set up for development, isn't it? I want it to be able to like install maybe more of like setup extensions that you need. I mean, Rust analyzers may be a bit hard, but I would say if you're learning, Rust analyzer is like required. We haven't done this for a long time. Let's open up VS Code on purpose. So we have our Explorer. There's not really much we can do there. Search, source control. I guess like debugging. So, oh, interesting. There's a little sidebar thing. Can you go away? Thank you. So extensions, I can move this up and down, right? Yeah. So this is, you'll be, okay. I forgot that VS Code like asks you to do this constantly. So we have set up extension. Oh, okay. We have setup extensions. They're required for Rust development down there. And up here we have set up. Is it the LLVM? Can't remember what it is. Set up Rust debugging. Set up Rust set up debugging. Or line for breakpoints, or like set up debugging. Set up debugging in VS Code for, I guess, like normal. For normal. Okay, this happens every once in a while, and it drives me insane. This would be something that if they don't fix it, I would just have to stop using it. I typed NO, and it put my line cursor one to the left of the O. So then everything starts happening after that, that's not cool. And it's not like every time I do an O it does that. Just every once in a while, it moves my cursor one to the left. Set debugging in VS Code for, I guess, like, just for that. Set up extensions. For Rust development. I don't know if I want to like set any of these things. I don't need to do that. Let's update. It's possible that there's new settings or anything else that I would want to look into. Now ships with a new default theme, Dark Modern. Okay, we'll try it. I don't really know what in here I would want to say like, hey, this is setting up for you. I think this is going to be a pretty short article. Like, I don't think there's anything in here. Andrew Kuriovsky? Hello. Autosave, I've never used well, I shouldn't say never used. I don't use autosave anymore. I used to use autosave all the time. That was back when I was using Sublime Text. I would use autosave all the time. But then I stopped because there's so many things that would happen on save, and it just started driving me crazy when it was basically re-rendering and running all these processes and doing everything else on save, when it was like partway through a word or partway through something else, and I didn't want it to change anything like that. So I switched away from it. So I don't know if I need to sort of, I feel a need for that. I'm curious though. Do you use autosave? Does everybody here use autosave, or is where do you all stand on that? Oh, okay. So I can. set up extensions for Rust development. Use Clippy for optionally use Clippy for linting. No autosave for USitsu, just Command plus S 5 times in a row to be safe. This is the way. I don't really do the 5 times in a row to be safe anymore, because I've also noticed that those tools that do like the auto builds and everything else, they listen. You can save a file that's not been changed, and they will start running an update. So if you do that, it will try to recompile, rerun everything 5 times in a row, which is not great. Not what I want. But it seems to be the way everything is set up. It's not really looking for when the file's changed, or rather, it's not looking for when the content's changed. It's looking for when any of the metadata changes. So I think like the updated at changes in the file metadata, and so it then runs. I'm pretty sure that's what like Cargo Watch is doing. I think that would be it. So I mean, there's not really a great theme that I recommend for this. There's not like an amazing font that I recommend and say like you have to use this. I think it's more of like, hey, here's how to set up debugging. Here's some extensions that are really nice, and if you want, you can use Clippy. All right, so we can start with then we just think about this like a blog post, right? Yes, we can set up Clippy for that. Am I going to record the setup? Yeah, so that's one of the that's what I want to do. I want to set this up so that every one of these lessons is an article and a video. I generally go with the Clippy. So like for example, in Helix, I have Clippy running. Oh, I closed all the code. We have Clippy running instead of Rust check. And actually did that here. So here's for Rust, we have our check command is Clippy here. You include the steps for a new blank profile. What are the steps for? Okay, so I guess let's set up these. So we have like YVS code, and then maybe here we'll do another section would be setting I guess like a walkthrough or you know, I need to set those up. I think I have some of those on VS Code on GitHub, but I don't remember if I have them up to date. But I could just share them. Also, good morning 2056. How are you doing today? Yeah, I don't remember if I have these set up. I don't think this is a Git repo that I set up either. So, Andrew, you've been using Helix for a couple weeks. So both of you, how do you like it? All right, I'm curious. Is It probably would be better for me to throw this into something else, wouldn't it? I am curious though. It's 38 lines. You miss a file tree? I miss a file tree so much too. It's an adjustment, but he had only used Vim for like a week or so the muscle memory isn't too hard to unlearn. Oh, nice. Okay, that's great. What I use for a file tree is Ranger, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. You're loving most of it, only some problems with reloading a file and some tools change it. Okay, interesting. I haven't had, well, I guess like, I want to say that NeoVim successfully detects when something else updates the file and updates. I believe so, but it's now been a little while, and I don't remember for certain. Since you're considering switching to Zed, well, you could. All right, let's see. If I put in, oh, reached a character limit. Okay, so I can't actually send this on chat. This is too bad. I need to actually just update this in GitHub. So do I actually have this? Let's find out. So I do have a Helix config in here. Okay, so I have config.toml. Okay, so that looks about right. And languages looks about right. Okay. So here's my Helix config. I heard that works well, but your entire system doesn't want to use Helix as a default editor. Oh, is that for Ranger? I'll show you how that works too. I don't have a config for Ranger up on GitHub. But here, so if I open up Ranger, I use this as my file tree. So I can come into here, I can jump into Helix, and I can quit back out, and I'm back in, and I'm good here. Also, if I switch around to different directories, go in and then quit, I'm now in that different directory. So that's also not a normal thing that Ranger does. That's something to consider. So this is what I did to open up pretty much everything inside of Helix. I created a rifle.conf inside of home directory.config/ranger. In there, rifle.conf. I initially brought in the entire rifle config that they suggested to bring in, and it drove me absolutely crazy. I couldn't stand it. So I just deleted it all, and I stole these lines from it and heavily modified them. You like moving lines from VS Code, so you set up shortcut for doing that in Helix. Nice. Yeah, I know you can set up those type of shortcuts, so I haven't tried that yet. But yeah, this is how I open files in Helix in Ranger. So I basically say, okay, everything that has a MIME type, or everything that doesn't have a MIME tab, whatever, one of these two is going to match. So if it's a MIME that starts with text, or if it's not a MIME that starts with text, but if it doesn't start with text, if the extension is RS or JSON, so this comma here is an and essentially. So MIME does not start with text and the extension is RS or JSON, then run the editor command, so whatever I have in the editor environment variable, and then pass it the directory and file name that I'm selecting. How do I move panes to different tab in Zellage? Okay, so if I have like another pane, so like different tabs, I do Control T left, right. I usually use the left, right arrows. I can use Vim commands too, but they usually confuse me because I'm not expecting it. Also, I can use Alt left and right to move past there, but that Alt left and right also moves through panes. Oh, how do you move a pane to a different tab? Okay, I didn't understand. I don't think we can. I don't think that's a possibility. Let's try it. So if I create a pane to the right here, so I can do move. So that just moves it across here. That doesn't move the next tab. So I don't think I can. I don't think that's a thing. So sorry about that. You might be able to create a plugin for that, but I don't think it's a thing right now. Epic Blarg, hello. How are you doing today? Is my course available for pre-purchase, or have you just gotten started? So it's sort of like in the middle of I guess like I want to say I'm close to 50% of the way done with like creating things. So it's one of those things where I'm not quite comfortable yet doing a pre-purchase. So the plan is I want to create the articles and videos for all of these things, or at least enough of them to be able to get started with a course. Because I do have a day job, all of my time when I'm running the course is gonna have to be helping whoever is in the course out. I won't be able to also write articles and sort of finish up the course as we go along. If something happens to my work, obviously that changes and we'll be able to get started sooner. But I don't wanna like shortchange anybody who goes in. So I'm probably gonna wait until I have those done. The first cohort is also gonna be think of it like a pre-alpha, so like a heavily discounted pre-alpha with a limited number of people, and then we're gonna go sort of like increase there. Each time I run somebody through it, we're gonna add more, make it better, all that stuff. So I guess right now the best way to go through it would be the free tier is essentially what you're seeing right here. Just like join in with Twitch, watch VODs on YouTube, go search through GitHub, things like that. Like it's basically the less easy way of going through, because you have to go and like find everything yourself, and nothing's really like, there's no easy way to find all the stuff, but it's there and it exists. And so you can, that's free tier. Also, just join Discord and ask. We're happy to answer lots of questions and explain things. So I'll do, that's when I help out with that. And then the paid tier will be, we're working on it. Epic, all good here. You spent the weekend starting to write some Bevy code. You have decided to make a highly annoying game. Was it you who said that you like to make annoying games for your friends, or was that somebody else? Somebody told me that they like to do that, and I can't remember if it was you or not. But like you highlighted highly, so I assume that this is not going to be something I'm going to want to play when it's done. What are the odds that there are two of them? The thing though is that creating annoying games on purpose actually sounds fun. It's like, okay, I want to make. The other thing is good game design, like actually choosing good game design, except tweaking it just enough to like you still want to play it despite the fact that it annoys the heck out of you. That sounds fun too, because then you can then you really get people, because okay, well, why didn't you just quit? It's like, because it's too good. I'm like, oh, I got you. I feel I need plot in games. I've never done plot in a game. I never make a game long enough to have plot mean anything anyways. So maybe someday, if I ever have time, we can I'll try that out. But I at least want to hear about it, Epic Blarg. That sounds fun. Anyways, back to see. Where was this thing? It was. Oh, okay. So 2056. Does this thing with Ranger help out? I found that this opens up almost every file that we run into now from Ranger in Helix, which is exactly what I want. The Ranger normal config will open up things sort of in, feels random, but it's not. Nice, excellent. I can copy paste this. I wish I could do the 3 ticks and have it actually do anything in here. I don't think it does, right? Yeah, that doesn't actually do anything. It would have been nice if it did, though. All right, so we are on setting up VS Code. Is there something I can do here that kind of works? I can do this as in. Huh, that's a design choice. Oh, so that's interesting. So it's like a pen that sort of, it's like you're almost using a fountain pen. So by the end, it reached the other edge and sort of became one point. Interesting. So we'll use this for the note to myself that this is in progress. Have I managed to introduce Rust at my job yet? No, I have not. I've talked to various people. Everybody that I've talked to, from the CTO to all the web devs, would be interested in learning Rust. But a huge caveat, we don't have time to learn Rust, to build stuff, work with what we have right now. So therefore, it doesn't happen. It's one of those, it's one of those, maybe someday we'll be able to get to it. But I would need to be able to remove developers from projects and basically set them up with a part-time project. So essentially they're working 20 hours a week or so for, I don't know, a month probably, to get them fully in on Rust, because none of them have ever used Rust at all. I don't think most of them have used anything like it either. You really want to replace your existing web dev setup with Webdos? I know. It's nice. It is so nice, but when it comes to like a job in which somebody is paying you money for, and it's not me, then it's kind of hard to like say, hey, I'm going to just like slow us down so we can speed up later, yes, but slow us down in the now. And if you're a startup, that could be a death sentence for the startup. So you have to be really careful. And then on top of that, you know what the last thing I want to do is? Make it so that we can't afford new developers, because Rust devs right now are really expensive. It used to be that Rust devs would take pay cuts so that they could work in Rust. But now there's more companies hiring for Rust, and it's really rough. You'll give me a good deal? But that's like it's so hard to convince. Thank you for the offer, but I don't think I'm gonna work. I'm not gonna force Rust in right now. Maybe someday. Okay, so you'll take Rust over money. So there's still that going on. There's some companies in the local area. I can't remember what they're called, but they switched over to Rust. And they have found it exceedingly difficult to hire developers to even that don't know Rust, developers that they can train to use Rust. It's just been very difficult for them because they can't pay enough to compare to like all the other big companies that are hiring Rust devs. Because they're not hiring Rust devs either. They're hiring devs that are willing to learn Rust. And it's just making everything more expensive. I don't know. Maybe now after the all the layoffs, things are going to be a little bit cheaper. But I certainly wouldn't want to shortchange anybody to basically say like, hey, we switched over to Rust. You have to basically self-fund and become an investor to work here. That doesn't seem fair to me. We'll say this, and this was the case for you. A traditional web developer would generally have a harder time getting into a Rust frame of mind. I can see that. Once my course portal is done, you'll have an educational platform for my company devs. Yes, that is very true. That is very true. So it is something that I want to do. I want like, we're starting with Axum for this as sort of like the beginning test of this, but I do want to create an introduction to Rust for developers, or at least web developers. And then potentially even like level up, like, programming with Rust, like, maybe like learn programming at all. So I have long-term plans with it, and I can definitely use it at the company. I should rephrase to be more specific for this. I am definitely willing to give discounts to coworkers so they can learn it. Hopefully the company would pay me for that, but I don't know. I haven't talked to them at all about this, and I don't want to cross any bridges until like the bridge is built for them to cross. What do you all like? So change the topic. Back to this. What do you all like for the title of the section for like to follow along? So like, would it be walkthrough? Would it be follow along? Sometimes I feel like walkthrough because I kind of feel that that's That's like the game dev term almost for when you're following like a guide, a tutorial for playing a game. We do a lot of stuff on Twitch, so I like kind of feel that's relevant. Although this isn't in Twitch anymore, so I don't know. So we can do I can do walkthrough, we can do tutorial, or like actually just setting up VS Code. Rithulkamesh, hello, good morning. How are you doing today? You tend to use guide. Ooh, I like that. So, guide for setting up Rust. Oh, it's evening for you. Well, good evening. Hello. How was your day? How are you doing today? You had a great session at the gym? Doing pretty good? That always feels good. It does feel good to like sort of like go to the gym, work out a lot, especially after working at a computer all day. Is it good to run a production database on Docker? So it depends. Like many things, it depends, Mr. Emma Lex. Also, hello. How are you doing today? So if this database is, well, first of all, where is the data being stored? So if the database itself is in Docker, and you have a volume container, or you have like sort of like some the data for the database is elsewhere, then I think it's perfectly fine. Like it's going to be slightly slower potentially than a sort of like a database, you know, on its own, but your application might be okay for that. It also means that you can sort of move that around and deal with that. So that might be okay. If, for example, however, you want to have your database like run as fast as possible, then you might want to look into other technology to like sort of host it. Obviously, on its own, VPS is one option. Using hosted ones like RDS is okay too. Probably like really good. Something like OpenStack, which uses virtual machines instead of like a shared thing like Docker is, that's a good choice too. Sometimes you want to use like a combination of those things. You can use something like OpenStack with Docker together, where like you have a bunch of Docker stuff, but then your database is outside of Docker, but still inside of the OpenStack ecosystem. Those are all really good options, and all of them have positives and negatives that are going to be circumstantial. It's really hard to say this is the way to do it without like sort of diving into the exact situation. So if you don't know, my suggestion is to play around with it. Muckaluck, hello. Good morning. I guess like good morning, evening, afternoon. How are you doing today? Can anyone tell me what is Rust most useful for? I see a bunch of answers. Let's see what everybody said. So we have systems programming is your favorite with it. Anything you want done fast, if you don't mind writing extra code. Rust is your friend. And we have a cute crab too. Rust is good if you want to join a cult. These days, every language has a cult associated with it. So it's like, I don't really know if you need Rust for that, you could just join any of the eco community. I mean cults. So Rust is a generic language. So it's a generic in the same sense that JavaScript, C++, Python, C#, those are all generic languages. meaning that they can do anything you want. You want to do back-end programming, sure, whatever. You can run it on the back end on its own. You want to do front-end programming, absolutely, you can do that. It's probably helpful if you pull out a framework, but there's plenty of those to choose from, so you can. You want to transpile it / compile it to another language, like that generally, like, you can do that. There's less options in Rust for that than other languages are. But generally speaking, you can do that. You want to do cloud development. There's not a first. Rust isn't a first party language in like AWS yet, but you can definitely set up Lambda to run Rust for you. So you can do that for there too. You want to do game dev? There's plenty. There's like, I don't know, 50 plus game dev frameworks for you to use, including some really good ones. There is a website. It's like, what is it? Are we something? I forget what it's called. Are we something yet? Are we Rust? Well, there's one that's for everything, right? It's like there's are we star yet, right? So like are we game yet, for example, is a website that shows you, I mean, basically it's like, hey, are we game yet? So like almost, we have urban blocks, bring your own glue. And so if you go through it, they actually have a list of game engines. Yeah, game engines here. Game engines and libraries to help you out. So here you go. Just basically all the things that you want to do with it. Can you compile Rust to JavaScript? I know that there's compilers for JavaScript that are built in Rust, and those are some of the fastest compilers out there right now. My day is pretty good, thank you. Although it's just beginning. It's very early in the morning. So I haven't really done anything today besides hang out with all of you, which is awesome. I do have a Discord community. There's a link to it. It's something we like to we enjoy sort of like helping each other out, chatting about things, and every once in a while complaining about random stuff online, which is basically any normal community. It's a good afternoon from Northern Ireland. Well, welcome. You started rebuilding your build system in Rust because of a typo in a PowerShell script that went undetected for 6 months. That sucks. But like shell scripting is rough. Right, Dino.js. I haven't heard about Dino in a while now. But yeah, so Dino is the Node.js alternative where you can write JavaScript or TypeScript, I believe, and then it will run as sort of like a server. Like JavaScript on a server. And apparently there was a link there. I'm surprised that Dino.js was okay. I must have whitelisted that one. But yeah, so like that's another thing. It's like another tool that's been written in Rust, but you don't yourself write Rust to use it. So you'll see a lot of people write Rust to enable other languages. You've been working on a notes app with Rust. Oh, nice. Use the target wasm32 unknown mscriptin. Okay, and that will create JavaScript. Interesting. Why? Well, won't that just create WebAssembly? And WebAssembly is different than JavaScript, but I haven't tried that. Okay, what was that link? Dino.land. I've never heard of Dino.land. Sorry about that, Rithokomesh. I think I pronounced your name first better, but yeah, I have a lot of links turned off. Oh, is Dino's website? Okay, let's do a Google search for this. That certainly looks like it. Man, in the with Dark Reader, that logo is impossible to see. Is this now supposed to be a dinosaur with rain falling around it? I've always been confused by the Dino logo. All right, I'm gonna update to make links from here okay. Okay, Dino.land should now be linkable. Or it's a meteor shower. That seems horrific. If it was a meteor shower. That feels like okay, let's use this thing. We're about to be killed. Too soon? Yeah, we're a few million years too soon. So maybe when we're like have abandoned the planet, we can talk about it. Is GitHub all right? What do you mean by is GitHub all right? Your Notes app prototype is open source. Oh, GitHub links. Yeah. GitHub to GitHub, I believe it's open source. Although their GitHub hosted links are not, because those are just any websites, right? And I can't know whether or not like they're okay. But GitHub repos are. Crab note. Very nice. And you have a logo. Okay, you have a good README to show off this. Very nice. Yeah, I like what you got set up for this. You'll be able to use it as a good portfolio piece too. Are you working on a syncing server if I explore the org? Oh, interesting. So you have a bunch of things in here? Oh yeah, crab note and a server. Nice. Yeah, those things can be good. Server's being rewritten in Rust. Oh, nice. Okay, so that's yeah, this oh, it's in Go right now, so it's Go to Rust. There's been, is that -5 progress? Like slow progress? I mean, it happens. You're in school too, right? So you're busy. Totally understandable. The big thing is to remember that that's not your life, right? It's that's something you're doing. That's the thing that happens. It's I think it's something that we don't often think about. Like if we create something, we pull somebody in, like we just became a leader and potentially manager of somebody that we don't actually have any authority over. So that's always fun. And then it becomes people management, which is it's a thing. So sometimes the answer is just to say, hey, great, we'd love to have you organize, do all that stuff. Here's the contributing document. There's some automated tests, and just go ahead and clone the system, write whatever changes you want, pull request it in, and we'll get it added in. That's probably the safest way to add people to a project, especially if you're not like wanting them to be like an owner of the project. Because every person you put in as a direct contributor can now essentially make decisions, and if you're okay with them making those decisions, if you trust them, then that's fine. But if you don't trust them, or you're not ready yet, then I wouldn't. Just don't do that. Try not to feel the pressure for this. It's a thing that happens. Like you may have to chat with them to find out what's going on. But it can also be something that causes fights. Be careful about that. You don't want to accidentally like lose a relationship over this. Human relationships are usually more important than code. Or if you if you actually do need to have like a really tough conversation, they don't really teach this in various schools. Not right now. I want to do this more myself, but mostly to control how it, like the look and feel for that. In the future, I might be more open, So it's sort of like one of those, I'm not sure yet. I'm going to keep it close to my chest for right now until I get it to like maybe 1.0, and then we can talk. So anyways, if you ever do need to chat with like, somebody and say, like have a really tough conversation with them, they don't want to ruin the relationship. This book is that backwards? It's backwards for me in my preview. Is it backwards for you? That is absolutely backwards for you. Hold on. Oh, I know why I have it mirrored. Because I'm over here on this side. Let's see, main camera. Where's my? Wait. Can I put it on? I can put it on Zilby Cam. Hold on. I can do this. Yeah, that works. Crucial conversations. One of my favorite books to recommend for how to have difficult conversations with other people. I'm a manager at my day job, so these things come up all the time as a manager. But if you're even not a manager, it's just an important thing to be able to do. Heck, even if you don't follow any of the exercises, just knowing that it's possible to recover a conversation that's going bad is huge. Okay, so we have. Well, I guess like maybe I want like a guide for Handlebars. Maybe I want this to be. we'll just do this for each section, right? So snip debugging for Rust, recommended extensions. Did that again, where it just sort of moved me to the left a little bit. Recommended extensions. And then maybe in here would be like a sub to that is using there. All right, so let's see. Then what I can do is I can use this to determine how to do a video, for example. So this would be the same objectives essentially. Now in VS Code, is there something that I can set up along the side, like a window over here to like do objectives? I feel like there is not. You can? All right. It's been a while now, so I've forgotten how to do it in VS, like anything in VS Code anymore. I can do a pane. Okay, so I can create a new file. So I can throw you in. Oh, it doesn't copy the markdowns. That is something nice that Notion does. Is it copies the markdown. Hey, Zilby, welcome back. You want to... Oh, make a markdown file and then open that as a preview in another pane. Oh, that might be a good idea. Okay, so we do this. Okay, so you recognize that you're markdown. And then I can preview. Open a locked preview to the side. Or open a preview to the side. What's the difference between, what's a locked preview? Hi, what's up? Let's see. Miss some chat. Years ago, you remember an IT developer played in an online chess league that was long-standing. He was put in charge of the Parian's result site. He fell out with other leaders and deleted everything. That's why you need to be careful with who you trust. Yeah, that can happen. That can happen. And oftentimes, if you're like a solo dev or something, you have like write access to everything, including the infrastructure. So that can be dangerous. You don't know how any org worth their salt can be in a position where things are irrecoverably deleted. Like if using git at a minimum, how do you lose local copies? So a lot of non-technical organizations rely upon their developers to set things up properly. And if they don't know what's going on, then they're not going to be able to help out very much, which is unfortunate. What? Sylvie, I'm not letting you into the closet. It's unfinished. I would say that he doesn't want to hang out there, but he clearly wants to go into the unfinished room and hunt for spiders. Is swearing open? I can't remember. I don't have this as yeah, I don't remember. That translates to cat. I will take your word for it. It's annoying. Oh yeah, with the with that thing, yeah. When you have so much progress, then it just all disappears. Yeah, it happens. It can definitely happen, and so it's just the big thing is to try to have some level of empathy for it, and like understanding, right? It's like when you go and approach them, it's less of I've made assumptions and I've told stories about to myself about like what situation you're in and what you're doing this and why you're doing it and why it's affecting me, and then sort of like move on with that, and that can help prevent the just delete it thing. And sometimes you can recover and things can become infinitely better than they ever were before. Do I want this? So then if I want to, I probably want to save this as a document. So let's save this to my desktop. Sure, it'll be objectives. Let's do, yeah, I'll just open this as objectives. Now, if I close you, wait, no, okay, you're still up. But I can't move this over to the right. Oh, I was like hoping I could like lock this as a pane to the right and have other things. So I can open up a new window. What? Oh, you can't. So, okay, never mind. So I can't actually do that. Nope. I also went to close the window and I closed the entire VS Code. That's cool. I can open up a new pane, scroll up. Okay. But let's try not to complain too much about it here. Let's try to stay positive and not let things get to it too much. All right, so let's open up. We have our objectives. Sure. I mean, it's my system. Don't save that one. You apparently don't remember what this is. That's cool. Open preview to the side. So yeah, there's no reason for me to then have this as a preview on the side. But you're so ready to complain about VS Code? Short complaints are okay. How about this? Let's have a really short, we can have short complaints. Right, because that's the problem, right? Is if we want to, we could just complain about things all day, every day, and then nothing will get done, but we'll be feeling really good because we'll be complaining. All right, so by the end of this lesson, you will be able to set up debugging in VS Code, set up extensions for Rust development, use Clippy for linting instead of the default cargo check. Okay, so set up debugging in VS Code. It's been a minute since I've done this. So for run and debug, I believe we need the, I don't have it. It's the LLVM. Is that it? Or is it Rust? All right, Rithokol Mesh. Have a great dinner. Have a good night. And we'll see you online some other time. Call you the Hulk? Okay. Well, have a good night, Hulk. In your experience, it is just set up one extension. Which extension do you use? It's like I had done this before, but it was a different computer, and so I don't have it set up now. So it's not Rust Analyzer. It's not any of these. Oh, it will suggest. Okay. That's a good idea. Let's create something. Yeah, LLVM makes sense. I think that does sound familiar. All right, let's do. Here, we'll go into the test helix debug. So it's the same thing we used here. We'll open up VS Code for you. Sure, I trust the authors. It's me. Okay, so if I do that and we hit debug, I don't think it's going to be Docker, right? I'm not going to debug in there. So install extension. Code LLDB. Okay, so it might be this one. Code LLDB. Okay, so if we come back to here, no launch configuration, cargo tumults detected, so yes, configure it for Rust. Okay, so we've got you. Oh, it's going to be like unique for each one that you do. Okay. So I can debug the unit tests and the executable. I don't think I have any unit tests, so. Okay. Now I want to throw in a breakpoint there. We got it. Okay, so we can see 5 and 10. So that's great. Ooh, there's a VS Code site. Maybe I'll just send people to that instead. So what is that? Is that the is that Microsoft's Rust? The Rust VS Code? Is it this one? And this also mentions debugging. Oh, nice. Okay, perfect. So what we'll probably do then is I could run through this. Oh, we can just follow this along in the video. And for the article, we can just say, okay, by the end of this article, you'll be able to set up debugging in Rust code, set up extensions. So I probably want closer to that. There. I'll have like my white VS Code, and then you become setting up VS Code. Follow. Oh, right. It does a link thing. Just like Notion. Okay, so follow the guide at that to set up. Probably don't want. Okay. Okay, so follow the guide at that to set up VS Code for programming in Rust. And then I'll probably have something up here for like video. Same thing. Sitsu, you got a meeting in 15. Well, good luck with your meeting. Have fun. And I'll see you online elsewhere. Okay, so we have install Rust. Install the Rust Analyzer extension. Yeah, I think we can go through this. Well, it's probably a good idea to set up the TOML extension. Yeah. So actually have some of those. So simp code and VS Code. And then we'll do more extensions. So more extensions. And then I don't think that one set up Clippy, so we'll do that too. So setting up Clippy. So I probably want something like that. So I don't know, maybe what I'll end up doing is like do the video as part of this one. But then I might do something like, because I haven't figured out how I want the videos to integrate into the articles. I could do really small, tightly focused videos, which have been more popular than the longer ones on my site. So I can totally imagine saying, okay, we'll do a video of walking through this. I could do a video of just the more extensions, a video of setting up Clippy, just those on its own. That might make sense. So then this would be its own video right here. So this is 3. Now, I don't know how I want to set that up, but something else I wanted to try out is recording the video here on the Mac, as opposed to the one going out to YouTube, because I was going out to you on Twitch, because then I can keep you streaming there. That'll be fine. I can keep the overlays and everything else happy. I can even keep the music playing, and then everything will be sort of on its own over here. So let's open up OBS here. And I should have, this should have enough processing power to handle this, no problem. Oh, I need updates. Okay, let's install those. crates maybe, but not necessary. Oh yeah, that's nice. So let's do more extensions. So we have toml, crates, Thunder client. Those are I think nice. And we'll get to those when we get to those. Okay, so OBS. We have a. I can share this, right? There's nothing special in here. Apparently my starting soon is empty. It's a browser scene. I don't need that. I think I can just start in here. I don't need any like introduction type things. Do I? Or maybe I do want like a starting soon of the name of the thing. Here's my text. Okay, this is gonna be setting up VS Code. Oh, I can have it read from a file. Interesting. Okay, so if I do that, that's fine. Word wrap doesn't seem to do anything. 256. That's a size. Okay. What's the keyboard shortcut for centering? Okay, center the screen. I didn't see a keyboard shortcut for that. Okay, and then ending is like that, and then scene. Okay, so there's you. I feel like I need a third monitor for this. Problem with us developers, we just want more monitors all the time for everything. All right, let's open up. I'll pull everything over to the right, the other monitor. So that way we'll just only pull in what we know we want. Okay, so we're good there. VS Code. Let's reset you. Close you. Stop debugging. I want to reset everything, which means delete all of our extensions. Can I multi? No, I can't multi-select. Okay, so you're gone there. We have popular and installed. I think things are normal on settings. I don't think I've done anything crazy with this, so I think we're okay. And then I'll throw things into a debug. Okay, so let's go ahead and quit VS Code. You're fine. The instructions here. Okay. Let's quit all of these. All right, so what are we doing? We're installing with Rust Analyzer. Okay, that starts there. Do install Rust. Okay, then install the Rust Analyzer extension. Interesting. Create a new profile. Oh man, I didn't even remember that that they have profiles in VS Code. How do I create a new profile? Create profiles. Create a temporary profile. Create profile. Okay. Oh, this is a good idea. I haven't been using VS Code in the last half year. That explains that. I've been using Rust. I've been using Helix at work too, so I haven't even opened Rust VS Code. The only times I open it was when I accidentally open it with Ranger or like something else. Okay, so profile name. Let's do like starting over. I don't know. Rust. We'll do one for like the introduction to Axum. Copy from none. Choose what to configure in your profile. What does this mean? Do I want nothing? No. Okay, I don't want to. I want to configure everything. Copy from none. So if I create you, how do I know what? How do I know what profile I'm on? I'm looking around the screen and looking to see if, like, is there anything here? Okay, here is this cog. So profile is that. Okay, there we go. So that gets me there. So if we take a look at extensions, we've got nothing here, and then we've reset. Okay, got it. It didn't reset this. It still knows that I opened these up, that's interesting. Okay, so now I can close VS Code and we start over with this. Okay, great. Geteo? Good morning. Hello. How are you doing today? Course is coming along. We're done with the assessments, and so now we're starting to work on recording videos and writing articles. XA? What do you want? XA or just X? But I'll try to remember. Dealer's choice. You chose a hard name. It's I figure it's like one of the things that we have to do as streamers is deal with hard names. So it's probably a good idea to manage multiple extensions using JSON files, as it is easier to copy settings. That's true. And if anybody wants one of those, maybe having the JSON in the article for setting it up might be helpful. Ooh, that could be something we could do too. Well, I don't know. I'm doing bare minimum. We're doing MVP for the entire course, so it might be something that nobody cares about or even wants to have access to. So we'll figure this out. Oh, you know what? Another thing. Ooh, audio. Stacking. Hello. You like to go by Stack King? I will very much ignore this unless you want me to drive you crazy by doing that every day. Okay, so audio. How am I gonna do audio? So please don't. Okay, Stack King. Okay, so how am I gonna do audio with this VS Code? So right now I have this microphone goes into the desktop computer, which is nice. But if I record with audio here, it's gonna go into. It's gonna just use the. It's gonna use the audio that makes it feel like I'm far away. So that's not cool. What are my choices? I may have to wait. So it's 8 o'clock. Normally I stream until like 8:30, 8:45 or so. I might end early before we do the recording and give myself a little bit of time today to try to find another microphone. I don't know if I have one though. Well, okay, I don't know if I have a good microphone. If I don't, then we're gonna have to figure something else out because I can't like have this audio going into multiple sources at the same time because I don't have a splitter or anything else for audio. I don't have any of the nice, really cool tools, which obviously would be nice and really cool, but you know, it's a thing. So well, that's a limitation. All right, looking at other streamers going on. Raimu is learning WGPU, eGUI, and Rapier with Rust. And I see some Rust code. So let's go ahead and set up a raid for Raimu. Well, the idea of what I would like to do is set up VS Code so be able to keep the music, be able to keep the Zilby cam up there, but not have that displayed in the recording. So that would mean 2 different OBSs on 2 different systems. I already use 2 computers to stream. So I have a Windows computer that's dealing with this right now. And that's where this microphone is plugged into, that Windows computer. The audio is playing on the Windows computer. Now, if I have to, we'll just record from the Windows computer. It'll be fine. So if I don't find a microphone, then that's just what we're going to do. And we'll just go back and forth between like pausing the audio and doing all that stuff. It's a little bit more annoying to pause audio these days because it's a YouTube video that's playing for the audio. So I'll probably not have any music. Let's see. So that's all I've got. But anyways, I wanna go and research that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do our raid to Raimu. And let's see. Tomorrow morning we'll be back. I expect to start around 6 a.m. Mountain Time and then go until like 8:30, 8:45, like I've been doing. So yeah, that's all I've got. We'll be making videos and writing articles and doing all that fun stuff. So with that, have a great rest of your days, and I will ATM lets you record a vertical scene for shorts while streaming a different scene. Wonder how that works. AITUM. I will look that up and take a look at that. See if it's something I can do. Anyways, with that, have a great rest of your day. And we're going to go and do a raid really quickly. All right. Bye.